Hello, I'm Death's Arrow, and welcome to episode 14 of What I'm Thinking. With the recent release of the 8.0 test server, I decided to push back the T30 episode in favor of previewing the 8.0 patch. The developers are introducing a number of changes to the game in this patch, which I will explore in this and the next episode. As it can be difficult at times to get on the test server, not to mention that not everyone is interested in playing the test, I thought there would be interest in seeing what's coming in 8.0. While I assume most of you watching this episode are familiar with the bigger changes coming in 8.0, which include physics and the new rendering engine, the developers have made some other small changes as well. Welcome to the 8.0 garage. While it doesn't look particularly different than the 7.5 garage, the tank models are rendered with the new rendering engine. They generally appear softer, cleaner, and a bit shiny. You also receive 100 million credits, 100 million XP, and 20,000 gold as part of the test so you can unlock and buy any tanker module you want, add any equipment you want, and buy gold ammo, tanks, consumables, and camo. Speaking of camo, 8.0 introduces the new adaptive camo system. Camo is separated into 3 seasonal categories: winter, summer, and desert. You're allowed 1 camo scheme per season per tank, which allows you to have 3 camo schemes on a tank, 1 for each season. Different maps are considered different seasons. For example, Arctic Circle is winter, Lakeville is summer, and Sand River is desert. Camo in 8.0 isn't just a visual effect, it has a practical application as camo reduces the visibility of your tank by 5%. In the case of the Furdy, 5% is almost nothing, as the Furdy has a very low base camo rating, but in the case of an Object 704 or an AMX 50 Foch, 5% has a more significant impact. The disparity in how adaptive camo works is a problem, as tanks with higher base camo ratings benefit more from the 5% than tanks with a low base camo rating. Not to mention that in order to have the bonus on every map, you have to buy 3 camo schemes. In the case of the Furdy, you're talking about 600 gold. In the case of a tier 10 tank, you're talking about 750 gold. Also added in the 8.0 patch are emblems and inscriptions. These allow you to further customize the look of your tanks. Emblems allow you to replace 2 of the country emblems on your tank. The front emblem is not modifiable because it is the emblem that gets replaced by the clan logos if you're in a clan. The developers have included a pretty good selection of emblems, including animals, military symbols, flags, and coats of arms. The inscriptions are varied by country, with German tanks having their inscriptions in German, while the French tanks have their inscriptions in French. The same is true for American, Soviet, and Chinese tanks as well. Each country's inscriptions are different as well. Both permanent as well as temporary purchase options are available, just like camo. As you can see with my Furdy, to fully kit it out costs 1,080 gold to permanently add 3 camo schemes, 2 emblems, and 2 inscriptions. It's definitely not cheap, and if you make any changes after you purchase, you'll have to pay again, as well as losing the previous items which you've already purchased. Another change in the 8.0 patch is the research tree, which has a new look and orientation. Rather than the previous top-down scheme, the research trees are left to right now, with tier 1 on the far left and tier 10 on the far right. The country flags on the right side of the screen are clickable and allow you to change the tech trees. While it does take a little while to get used to, the new tech tree menu now allows you to buy modules and tanks without going to a different menu. The big change obviously is the new physics and rendering engine, which have a pretty substantial change on the look and feel of the game. The physics are something that have been talked about with much excitement by the player base since the developers first mentioned it many months ago, and that excitement is well deserved. The addition of physics adds a number of new things to the game. First of all, many areas of the map which were previously inaccessible can now be traversed. Who needs a road when you can go wherever you want? I expect that through experimentation that players will learn new tricks to take advantage of these previously inaccessible areas on the map. Second is the removal of overhanging cliff faces to shoot down on enemies. If you go too far over the edge now, you'll come crashing down, and water is actually deadly now, and if your tank is submerged for more than 10 seconds, your crew dies. On the same note, jumping is now possible, and fast tanks can get air just by speeding over bumps in the terrain. They will also drift and slide in quick turns. Just be careful not to fall too far or you'll take off your tracks and do health damage. Another positive addition is that you will no longer get hung up or stuck on the edge of passable terrain. One last thing to mention is that tanks can now shove other tanks out of the way. A TD pinned by a smaller tank will be able to free itself. While the new physics are the star of the show, the new rendering engine shouldn't be overlooked. It's a significant facelift to the game and adds a ton of detail to the map environments. Everything is more detailed, from the rocks to the water to the buildings. From what I've noticed so far, frame rates don't take much of a hit, except in sniper mode where significant drops can occur. It's difficult to tell how much of an effect the frame rate drop is having, as I have almost double my normal ping on the test server as the servers are in Russia. One other change is a complete rework of the tank sounds from the guns and engine sounds to the inclusion of suspension sounds. The replay that we'll be looking at is on Himmelsdorf from September 8th, 2012. The map for this battle is Himmelsdorf. I introduced this map in episode 10 if you'd like to learn more about it. As noted at the top of the loading screen, this is an encounter battle. Reviewing tank composition for this battle reveals the following. Okay, This really isn't that important on the test server. Players are playing for fun since the stats don't matter, and a lot of gold is getting thrown around. A lot of conclusions about Russian players get made based on the test server playing experience, which I'm not sure all of them are true. Welcome to the new Himmelsdorf. The thing that really stood out to me the first time I saw this map was the cobblestone streets, which have a real 3D look to them. You also notice the lighting, which gives the tanks a completely different look, as well as the buildings and other items on the map. As the battle gets underway, my plan is to go hill. I've stated this before. I feel that controlling the hill on this map is the key to victory, in more cases than not. You can see that my tank is giving off dust as I roll up the road, and the engine tracks have all new sounds, kind of a metallic clank to them. That drop off to the left you can actually jump off of thanks to the new physics, or fall off as the case may be. We have targets now on the hill across from us. Put some fire on the bat chat, get a hit. Take a shot at the 50 Foch and get a no damage pen. Knock down the bat chat. One shell remaining in my clip. Bounce off the 50B, my track gets damaged. My turret gets locked up. I use a repair kit on my track. Now reloading. Also hear the new gun sounds as we're in the middle of combat. I notice that the west side of the castle is uncovered, so I roll around to cover. Slam in full speed on the bat chat and actually push him back. That's one of the new physics things. Get a hit on the bat chat. Hit on the 50B. Knock down the bat chat. One shell on my clip. Get another hit on the 50B. And our 268 rams him to death. As you'll notice, I'm actually using the new stock over target markers, which I can finally customize to a level that make me comfortable. Looks like I won't need to mod that on the live server. The only mod I'm actively using right now is the zoom out mod. I will likely use a crosshair mod as well. Heading down the hill. Most of the enemies are over at B3. Now this is a new thing. There's these rubble piles, especially at the corner here. Get hit a couple times, knock a track off. Took a shot at that T110 but missed. Snap a shot into the ground. You can see you can climb over these rubble piles, which is neat. There's also some new surprises on Tank Alley here with rubble in the middle of the street. Stop suddenly and get rammed by that 268. Probably lucky he didn't try to shoot me in the back while he was at it. I'd be pissed. We have a Jagdpanzer E100 down the street. I'm using this rubble pile as cover and trying to shoot at the top of the JPE. The turret on the back of the tank is actually a weak spot, but I don't do any damage on my shot. I am now reloading. Notice that there is a Su-12254, which is one of the new tank destroyers. I'm going to come around and flank him. Knock him down on the run. Looks like he was AFK. That's kind of an odd spot to stop. Put some fire in this JPE 100. Bounce my second shot and force a reload. Enemy is now down to the JPE and an IS-7. I'm attempting to flank the JPE. But our other AMX-50B knocks him down. I'm going to go head across the square and head over to this last IS-7. One thing you'll notice on this overhead view is there is some pop-up and some texture pop-up. I believe that's due to my video card rather than an issue with the rendering engine. Get some flank shots on this IS-7. And our Batchat 155 artillery knocks him down to win the match. Looking at the victory screen, well, there aren't any after-action screens and replays for 8.0. In fact, replays don't even tell you if you won or lost the match. The only indicator is the music playing at the end of the match. Hopefully the developers will find a way to present this information so that the after-action screens show up in the replay files before the patch goes live. While I didn't think to screenshot the after-action screens from this battle, I did get screenshots from another battle. This particular battle was in my IS-4 on Lakeville. The first tab, called Personal Score, has basic battle information: which map, which tank, the battle type, who destroyed your tank, experience earned, credits earned, etc. They also show how much you earn with and without premium. The battle efficiency column shows you who you damaged, who you destroyed, and what kinds of internal damage you did to each tank, as well as how much damage you did to each tank. The second tab, called Team Score, includes a full breakdown of both teams, including health remaining, tanks destroyed, base XP earned, and medals earned. It also shows team damage in parentheses in blue next to the tanks destroyed. The third tab, called Detail Report, includes a full breakdown of your combat activities. It tracks shots fired, hits, penetrations, damage caused, hits received, etc. One of the more interesting things is that it shows in both regular and premium how many credits you earned, how much it will cost to repair and resupply your tank, and your net profit. There's also the option to select another tank that has a double left, and a quick battle button to start another battle immediately. One thing that I did notice after the fact is that even if you exit out of a battle before it ends, you can click on the notification of the battle result and get the full summary of the battle. Something else that can't be shown via replay is a new radio communication screen, which is accessed via the Z key. This allows you to hold Z and then click on the communication you want. Thankfully, the devs have added a reloading option. Thank you for watching this episode of What I'm Thinking. Stay tuned for another episode soon. In the next episode, I'll preview the new Soviet tank destroyers that will be introduced in the 8.0 patch.